Hello there, Sagittarius, and welcome to your monthly forecast. This is for the month of August. Always great to see you, this month especially. I know we all just got through that Mercury retrograde, and it really feels good to be out of it, but this month there's a little bit of a shadow at the beginning, and what I'd like to do is gift you guys a little bonus at the beginning. So what I've been doing for every single zodiac sign this month is I tuned into a general sort of energy that you could use to transmute. I'm going to share that with you first, and then we'll go and drill down into the specific information just for your sign. The overarching message that I received when I did a 12-sign meditation, when I looked at everything for everyone, was two symbols came through. The first was the moon itself. For me, this is a very subtle, but also a very powerful image, because for me, the moon will help you understand things that you're afraid of looking at, but it often speaks in subtle ways. So rather than having some sort of flash of intuition, it can come through as a very sort of primal feeling, what you would sometimes even think of as mother's intuition, or just having that gut instinct when you first meet someone. Dreams as well are a very powerful vehicle that you will have the moon communicate through. So I want you to make more time than usual for meditation, because this is going to allow you to really be an open vessel for all of this information to flow through. And the other thing that would come through the moon symbology is that if there's a fear that you have in your life, whether it's fear of success or a fear of knowing something, or just even an irrational sort of sensation or fear that comes through, this month you will have a chance to go to the root of that anxiety and hopefully alleviate it. Also, if there's anything that you've been avoiding, it comes back this month. So my encouragement while you're in the shadow period, which is about a week to 2 weeks, is to do your homework and do the work on really trying to just be as healthy in mind, body, spirit as you can be. And when we expand the forecast and look at health, I'll make sure that I highlight that. But meditation, any sort of spiritual and or exercise practice, whether it's yoga or martial arts or just regular sort of physical activity, this is really going to help you get a nice baseline and center yourself this month. So I just want to encourage that with the moon. The other thing is it is a divine feminine energy, which means that you can manifest with it. So we'll look at that. We'll see if anything comes through in the spread, but just know that your heightened intuition and heightened creativity can be something that you really utilize once you get through the fear or the anxiety or the uncertainty that may show up during the first week or two. The second symbol that I saw during meditation was the magician, which shows you as that divine channel that I was just talking about, where you can heal yourself, where you can express yourself, and also where if you put your mind to it, you can basically do anything that you want. Just remember to heal yourself, to face your fears, and to stay focused this month. One final thing that I'd like to talk about, and this is about the moon, is that if you ever look at the card, there are two different animals on it. You'll see a dog and a wolf. This is a month where you don't want to think yourself into kind of making a decision or being pulled into a particular action that doesn't make sense, because sometimes that the knowledge, I would say the book knowledge, can get in the way of the intuitive knowing. So you're going to have something this month that may look good on paper, but it doesn't feel right, and I want you to trust the feeling instead, or vice versa. Everyone may be wondering, like, why do you want to do this? But you know on a heart and soul level that this is the right path for you. So you'll notice on that card too in the moon that there is a road and no one's on it. This is going to be your path, but you have to face those two opposing sides of your brain or your psyche this month, and trust the intuition. It will be your compass. It'll be your key to success, okay? Let's go ahead now and segue into the sign-specific forecast for you for this month. I'd like to begin simply by saying welcome back to everybody that has been following me for the past 5 years or so. I really appreciate your love and support. This has been a great journey. I can't wait to see where it takes us in the future as well. If you're brand new, I want to introduce myself and give you a nice hearty welcome as well. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh, and every month this is how I organize my forecast. I like to begin with some channeled information. And you got a little hint of how that works, but I'm going to do something specific to your sign in just a couple of minutes, so stick around. After I do the channeled information, then I use the cards that are in front of me to pull a Celtic cross. This is also very organic. Whatever needs or should come through does, and then after that I expand the forecast to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. This way we highlight all of the areas of your life that really matter the most. And I think that this is a great way to bring together sort of structure and then also allow for the intuitive flow as well. Just a reminder, you can always watch this for your sun, your rising, and also for your moon sign. And if there's someone in your life that you care about, you can watch it on their behalf. If you don't happen to know sun, rising, and moon, then just stick with the sign that you were born under and you'll get all the information that you need simply by doing that. Now, everything that you see here is viewer supported. So if you enjoy what you see, please stick around until the very end. At that point, in addition to giving a nice summary of everything that we talked about and also giving you a closing word, I'll let you know how you can give back or get involved if you would like to. Just briefly, this is everything from liking and subscribing to joining me on social media, booking an appointment as well, and giving a contribution. And for contributions, it can be one-time or ongoing. I'll fill you in on all of this at the very end of the video, but right now let's get into the channeled forecast for the month of August. This month, as I selected a deck of cards and began to meditate, the immediate image that came to me was this gigantic, it was almost like a magnifying glass, that old-fashioned magnifying glass that you used to see. And I saw one big eye looking out from that. And then I sort of saw the lens pull out, and then I could see a person behind it, but they were kind of warped. And what I was inferring from this imagery was that this month, your perspective is going to be really, really important when you look at things. And you want to realize that as you speak to people and work with people this month, you're going to be hearing it from their lens, from their viewpoint. And it's almost as if you're going to have to take multiple lenses together to kind of fix that myopic view that I was looking at in that vision. So more than one point of view is the first thing. You need to really listen to people around you. With the magnifying glass, I also get that some things could get blown out of proportion or could be twisted or viewed incorrectly. So you want to take time, you want to look at it from a bird's eye view, and you want to try to empathize and see it from other people's perspectives. Before I forget, I just want to show you what I wrote down in automatic writing. Again, it is that combination of clarity, perspective, and I would also just say the ability to kind of combine all of these into being able to empathize as well with others. So as you gain clarity, as you gain perspective, you're also going to have this sort of emotional maturity to handle whatever situation comes your way. Now, on the bright side, I think that something small, something that you might overlook, could be really important this month. You might have a breakthrough. So if you've been trying, like if you're in research and development, there may be some small finding that all of a sudden you realize, the answer's been here and all we had to do was look. So with me, that eye and that magnifying glass also symbolizes being like looking at stuff with scrutiny and with extra care, because you could solve a problem, you could find something that could either save you time or money, or again, in an unexpected sort of way, something big could come into your life. So this could be from a source, a venue, or just at a time or place that is unexpected. Always keep your third eye open and realize that you're going to be perceiving on multiple levels. It's more important how it feels, because you remember at the beginning we were talking about the moon energy. That lunar energy is all about the primal feeling. And sometimes your eyes can deceive you, but your third eye really never deceives you. So I want you to use all of your senses this month, especially your third eye and any of the other chakras that you have that are open and receiving information. The other thing is, if you have someone in your life that you always go to for advice, this might be a month to just get a differing point of view. Always get a second opinion, always take a second look, always trust your gut feeling rather than what you're just seeing with your eyes. There's something a little bit deeper this month, and I think if you keep your eyes, ears, and third eye open, you're going to be okay. All right, this is a perfect segue into looking at the Celtic cross. So at this point, I'd like to turn the camera down, give the cards a good shuffle. I'm going to remain quiet as I do this because I like to observe the positions and also download additional information as I'm doing that. But afterwards, I'm going to pick up each and every card and we'll talk about how it relates to you in the month of August. This month, the key to your success is to make time for fun. We have passion and pleasure here. It says savor your life. And as I take a quick glance at some of the cards in front of me, particularly your central card, which is the Three of Swords, you need a chance to find joy and happiness this month. So if you're working too hard, if you just went through a really difficult situation, or if sometimes you're just very kind of goals oriented, this is showing you that it's not only okay, but it's probably very beneficial and healing for you to make time to spend with friends, with family, or just doing activities that you like. It can be as simple as reading or walking the dog, whatever. You need a little bit of a break in the energetic flow this month, because that space that you take to meditate, to breathe, and to refill that internal battery, it's going to come back like tenfold for you this month. So I really encourage that. And if you're just someone who's not giving yourself enough time, or you feel like you're overdue for something good, be an agent of change this month and make that happen. It's interesting that I saw a lens at the very beginning. You could almost think of this as a mirror too, with two different faces, because we got the two faces here at the center. One is emotional healing, Three of Swords in reverse. The other one, which is on top of it, which shows the opportunity, is the Three of Pentacles. For some of you, you may have moved through a breakup, disappointment, quitting a job, losing a job, something that felt like it shouldn't have happened. And on the flip side, you actually ended up getting something good. Three of Pentacles shows money, new job, new opportunity, recognition. And it may have surprised you that with rapid succession, perhaps, two things that were very radically different happened. One that felt like a loss or a disappointment, one that felt like a gain. So even though there's only room for two cards at the center, but I would say if I could stack a third one on top of it, this would be a moment where you have sort of like a Four of Cups or a Five of Cups moment. The Four of Cups making you think about like where you're at and are you happy? The Five of Cups giving you that opportunity to perhaps mourn and then refocus your efforts on something that you really care about. So with the two cards that we did get, I would say give yourself a little bit more time, especially during the first week, since, as I said, that's a shadow period. So you may have just random thoughts that cross your mind over whatever it is you're trying to let go of or work through emotionally. And then you may decide to channel this frustration or distraction into something productive. So with the Three of Pentacles, this is the writing card, actually. This would be some sort of a taking pain and putting it into art. Whether it's writing, painting, or some other sort of performance, you could use that energy and that experience to not only get through your pain, but also help other people. So for some of you, there may be a chance to share through abstraction or through art your experience and grow and help other people grow, which is a beautiful thing. For some of you, you may just be writing down, recording, or again, channeling it through some sort of a creative path so that you can be clear, so that, because clarity was the main word that came to me and the main image too. So you just might be trying to clear out all of this sort of emotional baggage that you have. Three of Pentacles, for those of you that have been waiting a long time for an approval, recognition, for a publisher, for an agent, for something like that, this is very fortuitous. Even just for getting like money to get something done in your life. I feel like a lot of you are at this nice healing point where it's something finally is coming through for you. And I think you might have gotten to that ledge where you thought it's not going to happen, or maybe this is the wrong thing. Oftentimes that's when the universe comes in and says, all right, enough now, you're going to get it. But don't give up. If you're at the point where you're wondering, should I keep going down this path? I think the answer is yes, because whether you get the Three of Pentacles or the Three of Wands on top of it, it shows me that whatever disappointment you've been through, there are much brighter days ahead, and you can't let the disappointment anchor you and not allow you to move forward. So I see that there is a breakthrough and an exciting healing that could be happening for many of you, and some sort of a success that is coming on the heels of failure or sadness or disappointment. And it could be the flip where something really good happens and it's followed up by bad news. But I wouldn't let the bad news weigh you down. There's too much good in the center. And the second card, the one that tempers it, is the good news. As I'm looking at the deep past, I almost got this feeling of slow motion, as if there was a communication that you had with someone where the words just came out before you could stop it, or vice versa. And I feel like some things could have been said between you and a friend or a loved one, someone close to you. And the way that it affected you was surprising to you and probably surprising to them. I feel like if there was an undo switch, just like we have on our computers, that you would go back and hit that key combination and try to redo the communication. Unfortunately, that doesn't work in real life. And I would say that everything, even that miscommunication or misunderstanding, actually has some sort of a benefit to it. I feel like you needed to move away from that person or that situation. This gave you that moment of clarity so that you could move on. And again, that's what this month is about. Sometimes those moments come through and we don't like them or don't expect them, but they're always a blessing. And I feel like this actually sped things up for you. So you have more momentum now. You were inspired to do something or to look into something a little bit more, and that's a good thing. Don't beat yourself up and don't hold on to the emotion or the sting from those words. And the sooner you can move past that and heal that, the sooner the blessings can come through for this month, okay? I'm going to move to recent past in a second, but I want to look at the crowning card for just a moment here. We have the Knight of Wands in reverse, and this is a chance for you to keep an open mind. Whenever I see any of the court cards in reverse, particularly in that suit, it means that there's more than one way to view this, and that it all boils down to what the intention was, especially if there was something in the past that didn't work out the way you wanted it to. If you discover or feel that there is malice involved, or there was premeditation, that changes the context of everything. Now, on a completely different note, let's say you're feeling good. Let's say there's not really any problems with arguments, disagreements, disappointment. What I'm seeing here with that crowning card is that you have a lot of things that are available to you this month, but you want to keep a very open mind so you don't miss something. And also, I want to hit on a couple of things here. If you haven't experienced a breakup, if there wasn't a miscommunication, Three of Swords is saying you want to take care of your body this month. That can show something like increased blood pressure, cholesterol, or that you're just holding on to a lot of stress in your heart chakra, which it can be from the past. It can just be because sometimes when we're stressing out over work and other things, we can hold it in our chest. So you can do exercises to open up that chakra system. If there's a family history, though, of anything going on with the cardiovascular system, definitely get your annual physical and get everything checked out to make sure that you're in a good space. Page of Swords reverse can also just be an internal dialogue that you have, like, I can't do this, or it's not going to happen. It could be a negative sort of thought process. So with the Three of Swords and Page of Swords in reverse, it's like reverse that, basically, and let it go. And open yourself up to productivity and new ideas, okay? In your recent past, we have Six of Pentacles. This is my baseline for success and for being comfortable. It basically shows you that you have exactly what you need in life. All that's required is budgeting, saying no occasionally, and just being realistic with what you can do. The one thing that is important here is that, and this has been a common theme I've seen across many signs, you have to be willing to make some calls, judgment calls this month, and you can't agree to everything. If you spread yourself too thin, then ultimately there could be some situations that come up, and it would be you that's at fault for that, for basically saying yes too much. So if you can push back, if you can say no, if you can also hold people to be accountable, I should say, for what they have agreed to do this month, not only will you be happier and healthier, but you're also going to avoid arguments, disappointments, or being put in the middle of something that you don't want to be put in the middle of. So I feel like what I saw at the center, the Six of Pentacles is right next to the Three of Swords and Justice here in the near future. It's just being fair. It's just keeping to agreements. You can actually mute or avoid the Three of Swords through your proactive communication, through being clear, making sure that you've heard the communication correctly, and that also if you give any sort of direction to someone else, that they understand it as well. Sometimes we think we're clear, but we're not. Or we're speaking in jargon or code or sort of like a language that we understand but someone else doesn't. So take that extra moment to just say, do you understand what I said, or can you just repeat it back to make sure that we're on the same page here? That's going to save you a lot of time. Okay. As we look at, again, one more time with the crowning card, the Knight of Wands, this can be a chance for you to really go into an idea, because I love nights. This is about being able to take your idea and do something with it. I feel some of you might be a little bit shy about sharing. I wouldn't this month, because when I look in the environment, and this is what could happen with your idea, we have the Ace of Pentacles. This is a great card. This shows a new job. Someone might give you money, or they might agree with whatever it is that you're trying to kind of put out there in the world, but you have to believe in yourself. And so do what you need to do to protect it. I feel like some of you, if you are in research and development, you might want to work with a lawyer, or if you have some sort of a creative endeavor, you're going to patent it or copyright it. After you've done that legal component, then you can start to sell it if you want to. So I do see development and growth when it comes to money. And when we look at recent past versus environment, there's new money and there's new opportunities coming in, which means that you will continue to see growth in that sector. Just make smart decisions this month. All right, let's move along to near future. I showed it to you briefly a moment ago, but we have Justice in the upright position. Now, when it's upright, you have a big say in what's going on. And oftentimes this is an encouragement simply for you to take a look at contracts. Since we saw that big magnifying glass, definitely look at the small print, the fine print. Make sure that if there's any words or language or information that you're not certain of or don't understand, that you ask the appropriate questions and connect with the right legal representation. Justice is just that, being able to make sure that you understand the letter of the law. It can also mean that some of you might be deciding to take something to court, or you might be getting some sort of an inquiry out there and expecting a decision. I don't necessarily see the decision coming just yet, but I think that you might be turning the wheels this month. I will say that with the Ace of Pentacles in the environment, that's fortuitous and that portends good things. So I think that you're in a good place. The only thing that I would say for you is justice is also about balance in your life. And when I look at the center card, Three of Swords versus Three of Pentacles, some of you could be in a work situation where it's either obstructing your work-life balance, or you're not feeling a connection with it anymore. So do what's right for you, and that's what this card is saying. You have the choice, you have the decision here. It's not reversed. That means that there's not some sort of expectation that something bad's going to happen. It just means that you want to really look out for your better good. And if you're not happy, or if you're not being supported, or if you don't feel creatively fulfilled, this is the month to start to take action and to look around. And it does look like it's the right time and the right decision. So all you have to do is do a little research, maybe get some clarity. Because I feel like when I look at the ego of you guys this month here with the Two of Swords, the question is, where do you want to go? What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do professionally? I don't actually get a lot here coming through with love. What are your goals? And I feel like you might have been so busy and so focused on the work, especially with Ace of Pentacles in the environment, that you haven't given yourself enough time to just sort of relax, and more importantly, do a little bit of goal setting for the future. Once you know what you want, the universe can show up for you. But if you don't, then a lot of times you're ambling about. The interesting thing with the Two of Swords is, even with immense amounts of meditation, with all the data in front of you, there does come a point where you have to simply make the best decision you can with the information that's in front of you. And I do feel like many of you are nearly there. So take a day, take a weekend if you need, and just sort of think through it. But when I'm looking in hopes and fears, I have the Emperor, which shows me that there's not a lot more education to do. It just sort of has to come to the point where you own your decision. That really is the most powerful thing when it comes to affecting change in your life. When you think about it, think back on big events in your life. There's always a moment where you think, I want this. I'm going to make this happen. That idea where it kind of turns on a light, or you feel the fire light up inside of you. Try to cultivate that flame, that flicker of light this weekend. It's your trust, your flame, your desire that's going to start it off, and then it's that grounded idea as well that really will get people behind what you're trying to do. The interesting thing that I see when I'm looking in your environment is that you have support. The Ace of Pentacles is often a very abstract card, but I'm really looking at how the vines and the branches are intertwined on this. And because it's actually in the environment, which I see as like coworkers, community, family, friends, this is telling me that you don't have to do anything alone. You have support, you have monetary support, resource support, and more importantly, you have sort of like inspiration around you as well. Lean on that. That's actually going to be where your wealth and your opportunity comes through. And even though this is a very earthy card, we see ideas and fire represented within this card as well. So this is about the combination of the Knight of Wands, fire, and the Earth here in the Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like together with your thoughts, with other people's thoughts, blending it, I mentioned earlier that multiple lenses is what I saw sort of clearing it up. I think that you're going to be able to create something beautiful. So there is a hidden teamwork sort of element that came through that I didn't expect as I looked at that environment card, and that's exciting. The Ace of Pentacles, of course, can mean new love, new job, new opportunity. There's nothing really negative about it. It's in the upright. And again, with this one, I'm seeing a lot of support from people that you may not expect. So all around good energy in your environment. As we look at your opportunities, which also includes hopes and fears, we have the Emperor card. Some of you may be dreaming about owning your own company, becoming a boss, just kind of moving up. There's a lot of success-oriented thoughts with this, or even business-oriented thoughts. So this could be a chance for some of you to figure out, how can I get on that path if I'm not there already? This is also a card that shows me that whatever you're trying to do this month, you have the required expertise to make it happen. Even if you don't believe it, or if others don't see that in you, I see it in the card here. So I want you to do a little bit of work on yourself this month and just know that you're ready. Other people will trust you if you trust yourself. And that's really all that's standing between you and success. There's nothing to be feared with that. The only potential pitfall that I'm sensing is that you could be receiving advice from somebody and it might be difficult to integrate that. So do a little bit of an audit and think, is it because you didn't come up with the idea? Is it because they're too bossy? Or is it just a chance for you to open your mind and maybe they have something to add to the conversation? So that's something that you'll have to look at. In the outcome, you have the Unknown card, and I got a clarifying card with this, which is Nine of Swords, which is all about fear or worrying about things. And so if you put the two together, it's kind of the fear of the unknown. First, we'll look at the Unknown card itself here. What I like about this is that it really shows you that the world is your oyster. You can kind of dream up any sort of possibility for yourself. You can also feed into fears and shadow energy as well. So why not choose the positive? That's the first piece of advice I have. I want you to start to not worry about what might not happen, but instead what you can do. This is also a common theme this month, focusing on possibilities, positive, and potential, rather than pitfalls or things that might not work out. And then better self-care overall, another common thread that I've seen this month. Nine of Swords can show lack of sleep, overthinking things, also kind of letting the stress of work, relationship, or environment weigh down to the point that you just feel like you can't take it. So you need some sort of an outlet, and that's what I was seeing here. Whether that's, going out to dinner with friends, going to a movie, reading a book, practicing yoga, doesn't matter. If you do something to alleviate some of that tension and pressure, then you can start to look at this as an opportunity. Look at it more as like Two of Wands or Three of Wands, seeing that you can dream it, then do it. And I think that that's going to frame up the month in a really good light for you. So if you can work through your stress management this month, then you can start to access all of the positive cards like the Ace of Pentacles, Justice upright, and the Emperor. Start to take control of things, start to feel your money and your resources come into focus, and realize that you're going to have more than enough by the end of this month. So I'm feeling pretty good about your sign once you kind of bring a little bit more work-life balance, have a little bit more fun, and embrace the unknown and see it more as possibility than potential for failure or not being able to kind of execute on a successful plan. So that's what I'm seeing in your main spread. I'd like to now take a look at Health, Wealth, Love, and Destiny. We'll begin with the multifaceted health card. This is your mind, your body, and your spirit. And a lot of times it has to do with how you can shift the way you perceive things, something that we talked about in the channeled information. So let's give the cards a nice shuffle and see what the message is for you this month. So in health, we have another card about release and releasing tension, releasing pressure, letting go of things. I think for some of you, this could be moving away from a person or a situation, because we have the Three of Swords in the center. And for me, that can be one of two breakup cards. The other one can be the Justice card. But this feels, again, like it's your choice, or that you understand why it's happening. And so this is giving you a chance to just let go of that disappointment. The release is also a creative release. Passion, pleasure, creativity, allowing even dance, doing something to bring in sort of that energy of creation and giving you that sense that you can get back into the flow again. The flow of abundance, the flow of inspiration, intuition, and creativity. That's what the moon wanted to bring in this month. That's what the magician wants to bring in. And that's what this card is reminding you. Once you let go, then you allow for the space to open up that can be filled by something better, or be filled with something better. The other thing, as I said earlier, that I think just in a general health note that you want to do is try to work on having a consistent sleep pattern. When I see the unknown card combined with the Nine of Swords, which is a sleep-oriented card as well, some of you may be having erratic times that you go to bed or wake up, and I think it would be good to try to make something consistent, a habit this month that you can stick to, and trying to get as much sleep as your body allows you to. That's going to be really beneficial. Let's go ahead now and take a look at wealth, knowing that wealth isn't just money, it's self-worth, and it's also the opportunities that are coming through for you this month. As we look at your wealth card, which again is about career and opportunities, it's helping you with this element of the unknown, which we saw in the outcome. It says, awakening presence, the universe is with you, wear a cloak of protection and love. So sure, if you're a little bit worried about what might be going on, do your research, talk to a lawyer, get everything set up, but you don't want to be incapacitated by fears. So once you've set that into place, move forward trusting that you're okay. For some of you, there could be a sort of possessive or protective nature that is sort of shrouding this idea or this opportunity. I think that that's really normal. A lot of times, Ace of Pentacles in different decks can be shown as an egg even. So it's this thing that you're giving birth to, especially if it's something you've created. Even if it's a house that you've built, it's hard then to finally sell that or give up something that you've done. So what I want you to trust in is that the work that you've done is beautiful, that someone is going to be interested, and that it's going to end up in the right hands. When you kind of put that energy out there, you attract that kind of person into the agreement that you'll eventually have. So use love, use trust, lay down all of the groundwork to make sure it's okay. Using that idea of clarity and perspective and even that like magnifying glass that I was seeing, look at all the fine details and at a certain point, trust yourself. Because the way to turn the Two of Swords in the upright position is just to take a leap of faith. It's using the energy of the Fool. And it's also trusting your inner knowledge, which came through loud and clear in the opportunity space this month. So you have what it takes to really excel when it comes to your finances this month. It just requires passion, trust, and that leap of faith. You have what it takes, okay? If I repeat it enough, I know you'll hear me. So let's go ahead now and take a look at your love card. Love is not just how you're expressing yourself in a romantic relationship. It's also how you feel about yourself, self-love, and what you're doing to attract or push away those types of opportunities in your life. This month, the focus in love is on friends and family, and it says, loving your friends and family is central to your life purpose. And what we see here, by the way, in the illustration is someone taking a sort of walking across rough waters, if you will. And I think for some of you, you may have a relationship in your life. It could be a long-lost friend, an old friend from high school, family member, and there seems to be some sort of distance, separation, or estrangement that has gone on. With the Three of Swords in reverse in the center, this shows that many of you are ready to kind of bury that and let it sort of just go, and it's like water under the bridge, quite literally, which we saw here. And you may be pleasantly surprised by what happens if you simply reach out and offer an olive branch. At the very least, you'll be able to know what they think. You know, if they don't answer back, that gives you closure. If they say, sure, I'm interested in meeting up, then you have a pleasant surprise and you can maybe repair and maybe rebuild something that has weakened or kind of dissipated a bit. So this is a month to repair, rebuild, resolve, and perhaps for some of you even build a brand new relationship, which is exciting. So let's go ahead now and move along to your destiny card. This is a chance for you to kind of look at the path that you're on and think, Does this feel good? If it doesn't, then you can course correct with this. And a lot of times this can just reveal information of where you're at in your life right now. This really lets you connect with your free will. So let's give the cards a shuffle and see what the message is for this month. As we look at your destiny card, there is this sort of hermiting energy that's coming through, which means that a lot of you want to spend time just protecting yourself, staying in a safe space. But the interesting thing, if you look at this particular illustration, is right in the corner we have a helping hand or someone that's reaching out to try to contact you. As I mentioned within the love card, which was showing friends and family, this could be your chance to kind of repair that. You could also have someone that you're not even aware that's interested in creating a friendship, a partnership, or a business opportunity with you. But if you open your eyes and open your heart a bit, then this energy can start to come through. And that very much is supported by the environment card here. I mentioned earlier that I was seeing how you didn't have to do this alone. It's an unusual Ace of Pentacles because it's showing a lot of grounded energy and it's showing all of these sort of vines coming in. And I see the vines indicating friends, family, and all of that kind of connection to community. So if you allow yourself to be seen and to see others, you could be surprised by what comes through. With this Sanctuary card, the other message is to really take a look at your home, your office, and other spaces in which you spend a lot of time, including your automobile and even like when you get ready in the morning, making sure that the bathroom is beautiful as well. I want you to spend some time to clear and clean these spaces, not just physically, but also spiritually. Look at the objects that you're putting in the space. Do they resonate on a higher frequency? Do you have any painful memories associated with them? If so, time to recycle, release, or give to somebody else. And in addition to cleaning, I have a video, it's an older one, I should update it, but I have a video on smudging. So you should take a look at that and see if you would benefit from perhaps smudging your space with sage or incense or frankincense or something like that. This will help you purify and elevate the energy of your house, your business, and any other space that you spend a lot of time in. So that is everything for this month. I'm going to go ahead now and review it. And after the review, I'll give you the closing word. Your channeled message this month was all about gaining clarity and perspective. We talked about that big lens through which everything could be seen, but sometimes things could be warped. So you would need to take in different points of view, something that I encouraged you to do when we looked at your crowning card, and also to realize that you've already done a lot of the work that's necessary to be successful this month. One thing that's going to help you gain both happiness and perspective is by having some fun. We have passion and pleasure. This can include everything from reading a book to meditating to hanging out with friends. The connection with family is going to be really important this month in opening up love and healing your heart. So do make time for that, as I think it's going to help you across the board. We also saw that some opportunities may come through with friends, community, and your environment. So reach out to people, allow them to come in, and allow them to support you. At the center, we have the Three of Swords. It's reversed. It's showing that many of you are ready for healing. Some of you that are still working through pain may choose to find a way to channel this through art, through some sort of document. Maybe it's even a professional document where you share your experiences with others. It can also be a work of fiction or just pure expression. Whatever it is, it looks like that's a good use of your time and energy. And again, it could be something that others are interested in. If we kind of take it out of the lens of pain or previous experiences, this can also indicate that this month you need to take care of your health, and that I just see general growth when it comes to money and work, which is also good. Looking at deep past, Page of Swords in reverse, this month it's time to pick up the speed. If you've been feeling like everything's kind of been at a standstill this month, the main thing that you want to focus on is where you want to be headed. Once you know what your direction is, what your goals are, opportunities open up, and you'll start to see things pick up speed-wise. The other thing is to kind of eliminate negative thought patterns and speech patterns, whether it's your own or other people around you. Try to clear the surroundings. Remember, the Sanctuary card can also mean the company that you keep. So it may be time for some of you to kind of push away some of that negative energy and reconnect with the positive energy. This month you have more than enough resources, time, energy, and money, but there is a need for you to simply make some good decisions and say no. You don't want to overextend yourself. that in fact could be what leads to some of this frustration here. As we kind of read straight across the middle, I actually think that you're in a great place with money, with resources, and with opportunities, because we go from 6 to 3 to justice and then to the ace here. So there's some great movement when it comes to things, but you have to be fair, you have to be realistic. That way you can use the energy of the 6 of Pentacles, the 3 of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles to your advantage. Keep an open mind to things. Don't get too stuck in your head. Don't overthink things too much either. Keeping that open mind is going to allow for new points of view to come in, and also for your ideas to be shared with others, because I feel like some of you could be protecting or shrouding that idea too much and not allowing others in. And it's time to kind of step out of that cave that we saw here. With justice, if you need to protect your ideas with a patent or with a trademark, copyright, etc., this is what you want to do. Also, there's a decision many of you might be getting ready to make, and this is the month to make the first steps. Again, going back to ego this month, clarity is not just important when it comes to communication, but also in your goals. So if you need to get some clarity on what's happening in your life, ask those questions. And with yourself, there's going to need to be just a decision that's made. You already know the path to take. I think for some of you, it's just taking the leap of faith and trusting that you have the requisite skills, experience, and voice to make it happen. And by the way, you do. Even if you feel like you need some help, I see a mentor coming in, a mentor, a teacher, or for some of you, a really good advisor. If you can make peace with ambiguity this month and see it as a chance to create, like a blank slate, this is going to be very beneficial. This will help you release some of your fears and get on a healthier path. For those of you that are having a hard time sleeping or just feel that there's a lot of stress going on in your life, again, focus on having some balance when it comes to reading, hanging out with friends, and just making time for pleasure. It's really, really important, and it's ultimately going to help you get that clarity and perspective that I was talking about much earlier. In the health card, we have here release, and I think that what I was just mentioning will help you find that release. For some of you, you're just ready to let go of something unhealthy in your life. And then again, this makes room. You need to have this blank slate in order to see the growth in the Ace of Pentacles here in the environment. So although risk can be scary, it can also be really invigorating, and I hope you can focus on that this month. With wealth, many of you may awaken to a newfound purpose here, and the only thing that's coming through here is to remember that you are protected and encouraged to go on this path, and that, again, having the proper legal guidance here is going to be essential to protecting that path. We talked at great length about the benefit of reconnecting with friends, family, and community. There is a chance for reparation and forgiveness if you want it. Otherwise, there's a chance to forge a new sort of group of friends, or I should say a connection with someone new in your life. Here in Destiny, we have a card that's really encouraging you to come out of your shell, to experience life, and to trust that other people are there to help you. I'm covering it up, but there's a helping hand just around the corner. For some of you, this could be an older individual, maybe 5 to 7 years your senior, and they have a little bit more experience, and they're there to mentor you or give you support if you want it. So this brings your monthly reading to a close. However, I hope that you got exactly what you needed as far as guidance, inspiration, and the ability to just see that you really have what it takes to make it through this month. If you ever feel like you want a little bit more insight into something that I covered, or if you have a different question that didn't show up here in the general spread, I'd be happy to talk to you. You can click on the first card in my video or the first link below. That'll connect you to my booking site where you can look at my rates and availability. And if you like what you see, go ahead and connect with me, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Otherwise, I mentioned earlier that everything that you see here is viewer supported. I don't charge you extra to look at everything, but I do kind of rely on your goodwill if you like what you see. And the way that you can give back is clicking on that second card or the second link. By doing this, you'll go to my website, and from there you have a lot of options. You can do a one-time contribution if you just want to say thank you, something as small as $1 for the whole year. That's something that makes a big difference for me. If you want to be more sustaining in your contributions, you can also join me on Patreon, or even now here on YouTube by clicking the join button. And I also have some ongoing options on my website. So it's really flexible. You can do as little or as much as you like for as little or as long as you'd like. And just know that not only does this help me with buying supplies, most importantly, it helps me set up time on my calendar. If I don't get a lot of contributions, I have to book a lot of appointments and work, and that means that I get the videos out a little later. So with your support, I can do it much sooner, and I know that's a win-win for us both. So if you're interested, again, click that second card or second link, and know that it means the world to me, and you're also helping others through that contribution. Third thing that you can do to give back doesn't require money, just a couple of clicks, and it really makes an impact for me. So click on the third card or the third link. This will take you to my website where you can join me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I also have a newsletter, which is a great way to know when I post new videos. Another way that you can be informed about the new videos, by the way, is besides liking and subscribing, you can click that notification button, the little bell, and then you'll actually get an email from YouTube whenever I post new videos. I know one of the most frequently asked questions are, when are the new videos coming up? So if you do that, you'll never have to ask. You'll get it delivered straight into your email inbox, and you can always unsubscribe if you don't want that. That costs nothing, by the way. To just hit the subscribe button, sometimes people don't know the difference between join and subscribe. Subscribe is just to keep up to date with what's going on here. Join is if you want to contribute money. So just to kind of demystify the two. Either way, I just want to say thank you for all of the support that you're giving me. Even just showing up and watching this, it means a lot. I want to leave you now with your closing word this month. The main thing that I'm seeing now just in my mind is sort of like a butterfly opening its wings. As I look at this cave card, Sanctuary, I keep getting drawn to the hand on this, and I keep seeing that it's time for you to come out of your shell, because in order to be able to capitalize on this opportunity, you have to be seen, and you have so much to share with the world. This is very kind of like Athena on this card. I can't tell if it's a man or a woman, and it doesn't matter, but I'm paying attention to the owl up here. And to me, this is about your inner knowledge that's ready to expand and be shared with the world. I want you to do that. I hope you can see the opportunity and the value in what you have to offer. So please let that happen, and know that you have support around you. You may have lost touch with some people, but I feel like there's an opportunity to bridge that gap and to make amends if you want to. So that's your final word for this month. And I just want to thank you one more time for spending the last 45 minutes or so on my channel and allowing me to be part of your path to enlightenment. So take care of yourselves, be kind to you, be kind to everyone around you, and most importantly, I wish you love, light, and abundance. Take care, and I'll see you next month.